The great reset is upon us. Now, one thing I believe we can all agree on is that something had to change with the way things were going. And I have one question to ask you as you come into this stream. Who was going to change it? The world needs a reset. Who was going to reset it? You? Me? I don't have the ability to reset it. The crazies who are trying to raid the St. Paul, Minneapolis courthouse right now because 15 Antifa members were indicted? Or maybe it's the members of Black America who are currently ready to ride and go to the street over a killer who stabbed somebody through the heart for allegedly pushing him. Things had to change because our country was on a path of self-destruction. And for many people, they wanted to go back there. You just came off of people burning down major cities all over America over a dope fiend. Something had to change. And I believe it's good that finally we have a leader in place who's willing to actually change it. Now, we're going to cover 3 topics today. 3 people, really. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how all these things, even though they seem unrelated, they are very interconnected. We're going to cover the downfall, the final verdict on Karmelo Anthony. He's done. The video has been leaked. All this stuff they've been telling you, all this stuff these folks been lying up to you about on the internet. Oh, he was jumped. This video confirms it. It's not true. We have Donald Trump signing the memorandum of understanding with Iran. Obviously, he's being attacked. It doesn't matter what this guy does at this point. If he cures cancer, they'll find a way to spin it to the negative. We understand that. These people are going nowhere fast and they're thrilled to death about it. And lastly, we have Kamala Harris, who I think she pretty much ended her political career in Austria the other day, sitting on stage with Arnold Schwarzenegger, just absolutely sounding as incoherent and word salad speaking, word salady as ever. All these things are interconnected, and these things have to do with the way in which the world needs to be reset for our survival. I mean, if you're worried about global warming, right? Shout out to Al Gore, who said, him and scientists said by 2000, these guys said that by 2014, California would be underwater. They told me that I would be having to go to the grocery store on a jet ski. Screw you, Al Gore. You lied to me. I would love to go to the grocery store on a jet ski. They told us that California will be underwater in 14 years. Well, we're way in 2026. Well, that was in 2026, he said it. That was in 2006, he said it. So we're 20 years removed from him telling us that we would be underwater in 2014 in California. And we're not underwater. I'm sitting here above water, and I live a block and a half away from the ocean. So let that sink in. But the world needed to be reset. And finally, someone reset it, and things are looking really good from where I'm sitting. But you got a bunch of people trying to convince us that things are just horrible. And I don't really understand that. But guys, we're gonna look at some clips. We're gonna get some straightening around this piece. And thank you for coming in. I appreciate you sitting with me, stand with me for the next hour and a half. We're gonna do this thing right. I hope I can get you through an hour or two of your work shift. Shout out to everyone out there working, making this country, do what it does. I appreciate you. First responders, truck drivers, nurses, doctors, fry cooks. I really appreciate the fry cooks. Line cooks, the bus boys, everybody out there who might, even in the security guards, everybody out there who's looking at your phone when you're supposed to be working and you're looking at me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Please do me a favor as you come in, consider hitting the like button. Also consider contributing to the stream, helping us reach our goal. $5 super chats by the time this show is over. That's, the minimum that we ask over here. And once again, thank you. I'm Brandon Tucker. Welcome back to Accountability. Let's get into this.
On Sunday, we reached an agreement with Iran that achieves everything we set out to accomplish, everything and much more. Ending the current conflict, reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and preventing Iran from ever obtaining a nuclear weapon. That's what it was all about. That was about 99%. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They can't develop it, buy it. They can never have a nuclear weapon. At the same time, with this announcement, or close to it, as people started to think it was going to happen when Iran was making some very positive statements, the stock market has surged to record highs, picking up thousands of points over the last short period of time, thousands of points. And oil is dropping like it has never dropped before, at levels that went in numbers down $7, down $8. They've never seen anything like that. But if we didn't do this deal, we could have dropped more bombs for another 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 years. You would never have the Hormuz Strait open. You would never have success. Your market would have, instead of going up at levels that nobody's ever seen before, would go down at levels that nobody ever saw before, maybe except for 1929 or whatever. And all the tough guys don't realize that this wasn't a 3-month deal. This was years in the making. You know why? Because I was the one that killed General Soleimani.
It's just after 1 o'clock in the morning here in Switzerland.
And so I want to just talk about that. Like, when you listen to Donald Trump talk about things, a lot of people lack comprehension. They can understand things within 30-second or 10-second clips, and our society has been programmed and trained on that by TikTok, social media, shorts, reels, and all that. But you really have to understand what the president is saying there. When he says the strait would have never been open, that means the United States would have continued to block the Strait of Hormuz. I asked AI, is it possible for the United States to block the Strait of Hormuz? How long could the United States block the Strait of Hormuz? They said the United States could effectively block the Strait of Hormuz on its current budget. If this budget is renewed every year, $800 billion a year, they could block the Strait of Hormuz for 400 years. Go look it up, do the research. The United States, with its current military budget, using 10% of its Navy, could effectively block the Strait of Hormuz for 400 years. Using 10% of its Navy. 1 to 2 aircraft carriers, the landing boats, the LPHs, and the LPDs. So it would have never been open because Trump would have never opened it. And this is why I'm telling you, the man is damned if he does, damned if he do, damned if he don't, because it's like this. Nothing Iran did made Trump come to the table to negotiate. Trump was always saying, make a deal, sign a deal, make a deal, sign a deal. The only thing that made Trump go a little softer on Iran was public sentiment from the United States. Oh, think about the children. Go easy on Iran. Why are you bombing them? Think about the carnage and the bloodshed. So bro backs off a bit. Iran comes out, decides that they want to play ball. And now the same people who were telling Trump to take it easy on Iran and don't go to war are now trying to criticize him, saying he didn't go hard enough on Iran. You're just damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's the way it is. No one can tell you No one can explain to you how the United States lost in Iran. No one can explain it to you. They can say it, but these are just not serious people, right? Understand that. From what I read on the agreement, Iran has agreed to get rid of its nuclear weapons ambition. I don't know about you, but I've been here for the whole time. I thought that was the whole goal. That's what I thought. Guys, I see you guys in the comments. You're a fool, but you can't. Yesterday, I issued a challenge here. I said I would give the person $100 who could come up here and explain to me how the United States, if they actually work out a deal and is signed, how they don't have mission accomplished. No one took the offer. Trump bombed the shit out of Iran, destroyed everything, killed a bunch of their leaders, killed Soleimani, killed the guy who they look at as the Pope, Khomeini. And what did they do? They signed a memorandum of understanding and are now going to go to the table to negotiate. And according to what I read, everything is contingent on whether or not they follow the statutes of the agreement that they're going to sign on the 19th of June. I don't see how that's not a victory. I don't see how that's not a win. If, like I said before, if Iran was winning or won, see, here's the thing with me. If Iran has their way, they would be allowed to do everything they were doing. They would still be enriching uranium and they would have a nuclear weapon in a couple of months or weeks. They're not doing that anymore. If you win, you get to do what you want to do. If you lose, you have to do what the other person wants you to do. Now, if you compromise and negotiate, right, which is another form of battle, in my opinion, you can negotiate to be allowed to continue to do what you want to do. Iran has agreed to give up what they want to do just to get to the negotiating table. No, you're an idiot. Uranium does take weeks. This guy's dumb. Anyway, so this is the whole thing. So I'm just trying to figure it out. But I realize, and I have to remind myself, Brandon, these people will continue to lie to themselves just because TDS is real and is taking over. I don't have TDS. I want the country to be successful. Therefore, I want our president to be successful. Hell, I want the guy selling pretzels at the fair to be successful because I know that in some way contributes to the success of our country. The first thing you have to ask yourself when you root against President Trump, you beg him for mercy on Iran. He gives them Iran mercy. Then you criticize him for giving Iran mercy. When you do that, you have to ask yourself, why do I hate America? And what has America done to me to make me hate it? That's the only question there is to ask.
Switzerland and in France, where President Trump is still at this dinner with the Macrons. Earlier today, he told me about this memorandum of understanding that he didn't know if it was the kind of document that he should be signing, but they did. He did sign a physical copy of it, and we were told, or we have been told, that there is some kind of a photo that exists. So we will see that at some point, and he will be surrounded by the gilded touches of Versailles, which President Trump was very excited to see because it is not just gold leaf there. He says it is the real thing. As for what is in this memorandum of understanding, today is the day that it all came out. There are 14 points. It's not until point number 8 that you get to the line where Iran cannot pursue a nuclear weapon. There is this $300 billion reconstruction fund that the United States will be directing and facilitating, but not donating to directly. And there is this line that the United States has to lift sanctions and unfreeze frozen Iranian assets. The United States insists that this is something that is performance-based, but it is going to be a huge moneymaker for the Iranians and unfreeze.
Okay, so I want to look at this part right here. So I don't know if you trust Fox News. I don't care, really. But this is where you got a good list of what's going on. And I'm looking at this, and you know me, one of the things I do, I try to look at things from the other person's side or point of view. And when I look at Isaiah Washington, when I look at, the liberal pundits, and I try to understand where they're coming from, the only thing I could see is that these people are just trying to be incredibly petty. They don't really have a point that they disagree with. right? But they're just being petty. So what I'll do, I'll put the link in the comments for you. Come up and you can highlight for me the point here that you disagree with. Because if Trump did it wrong and he got abused, well, there will be a bunch of things about it that you don't agree with. And I'm trying to see where's the loss in this. Because what I was told, and you can confirm this if you agree with me, I was told that the point was to keep Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. That's what I understood this to be. And if I look at this, this right here, this basic list of what was agreed upon, right? I see right here. Now remember, the United States was telling Iran, you can never have a nuclear weapon. Iran's argument was like, we have the right to self-determination. We have the right to acquire a nuclear weapon, whether we enrich the uranium ourselves or we buy or purchase the nuclear weapon from someone else. That's what they said. Just to come to the negotiating table. This deal that Iran has agreed to and the United States have agreed to, right here on line 8. Iran will not procure or develop nuclear weapons. Do you understand that? Right? All this revolves around that one thing. This is why they had sanctions in the first place. This is why the United States and Iran have been beefing for years. Because no president, right, was bold enough to put pressure on Iran to force them to agree to that one line right there. Iran will not procure or develop nuclear weapons. You had a 40-plus year standoff with this country, lost thousands of American troops to this country because no president had the balls to bomb these people into submission to where they would sign an agreement that they wouldn't do this. And there it is right there. Like I said, if they actually sign this memorandum and then follow through with everything in it, that's mission accomplished. But in my opinion, from the first day the bombing started, well, maybe from the second week of bombing, Donald Trump has been saying, yo, sign the deal. Come to the table, negotiate. Let's make a deal. He's always offered them the opening. But what I believe, and I'll get into this now, I don't believe it matters whether they sign this or not. I believe Iran, the current regime in Iran, I believe Iran is done. Because I know my country. And I know how Israel does things. And I know that the nations around Iran that Iran bombed in retaliation for being bombed by the United States, I know Muslims don't forgive and forget. That's not a part of their religion. I believe, and you can, if you agree with me, it is my belief that this is the beginning of the end for the regime that currently runs Iran. I believe that the agreement to never procure a nuclear weapon is a sign of weakness. I believe hardliners will abandon that regime and become insurgents. I believe that the people of Iran, for the first time, see a little glimmer of hope where they might be able to gain some autonomy and get rid of that government. And I also believe that the countries around Iran, the other Muslim countries, I believe that they see blood in the water. I believe they will enter Iran under the guise of economic investment, and they will do what we do best. What was it? Economic Hitman? Have you guys ever read that book? Let's be real. Have you ever read Economic Hitman? If you read that book, the man who wrote that book outlines exactly how these types of deals lead to total regime change and takeover of a country by outside entities, outside interests. These countries, there's countries all over where this has happened. I believe the UAE is one of them. I believe Singapore is one of them. I believe Tokyo. I believe not Tokyo. I believe countries like Luxembourg, stuff like that. You get these people come in economically, and slowly but surely, little by little, you lose control of your country to business interests. That's why I believe that this is the beginning of the end for them. You understand that, right? Like, it's funny how all the conspiracy theorists and these guys, these people who tell you, don't trust the mainstream media, don't trust this, don't trust that. As soon as the narrative of the mainstream media starts going along with what they want you to believe, all of a sudden, no, trust them. It's just like Black America with the FBI. The FBI cannot be trusted by Black America for years, decades. They killed Malcolm X. They killed Martin Luther King. They killed Fred Hampton. Soon as the FBI started going against Trump, these intelligence agents lying he's a Russian asset. Ain't it funny how Black folks start telling you, you need to trust the FBI? Because they're talking bad about someone that I don't like, so all of a sudden they're trustworthy. But in my opinion, it all boils down to one thing. Will Iran get a nuclear weapon? That's it. And getting them to sign the agreement so the next administration, whether it's Democrat or Republican, is beholden to that agreement. Because Trump understood something. I could bomb them and make them submit today, but if I don't get them to sign an agreement saying they won't do it, the next administration will allow them to get the weapon so that they can use Iran as the boogeyman to force Americans to vote for more war, more conflict, more violence over the next several years. And if you believe that America was being controlled by Israel, and this is for my real thinkers right here, this ain't for the dummies, right? If you truly believe America was being controlled by Israel, you would want this memorandum to be signed. You would want this deal to be made. Because if we make a deal with Iran, Israel can't drag us into conflict with Iran anymore. See, this is where you can see that there are holes in these people's argument and there's fallacy in their reasoning. You would want America to sign an agreement with Iran. You would want America to open up a channel for a working relationship with Iran. That would mean that Israel would no longer be able to use Iran as an excuse to commit atrocities, right? See, this is why they say Trump is playing 5D chess and y'all over here playing tiddlywinks. Because you keep talking about Israel, Israel's controlling the United States. Israel doesn't want the United States to enter into these negotiations with Iran. Israel wants the United States to finish the job, right? That's what they finish the job. But Trump said, no, we're going to negotiate. Clearly, this is what the American people want. Now we're going to start moving towards Iran becoming a productive member of the global community. That's the worst case scenario for Israel. So if you don't like Israel and think Israel is manipulating shit, wouldn't you want what Trump is trying to do to happen? See, this is all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. That's why I keep trying to tell you guys, the people who you think agree with you, they hate you. The people who have this negative perspective, these people are miserable people. And that's even what Trump is saying. These are just hateful people. These are people who don't want to do the work necessary to get the things they want, and they want to blame, they want to find someone to blame. See, like this guy Lincoln logs off. This guy's opinions are based on off of things entirely created in his own head, in its own head. We have the paper, we have the points right in front of us. U.S. will terminate all sanctions against Iran. What does that do? That allows Iran to do business, right? U.S. will remove naval blockade in Iran within 30 days. That allows Iran to do business. Iran will not procure or develop nuclear weapons. That allows us to allow Iran to do business. U.S. will release frozen assets if Iran engages in good behavior. That's how you know that we daddy right there. We get to determine what good behavior is. Like when you go to jail and they say, oh, you're going to get 3 years off for good behavior. That's because they daddy. They in control. U.S. and Iran agree executive mechanism will be established to monitor successful implementation of MOU. After signing MOU, U.S. and Iran will start negotiating on a final deal. Final deal will be endorsed by binding UNSC resolution. Israel doesn't want the United States and Iran negotiating anything. So you can't tell me, like this idiot Franklin, you can't tell me that you are sick of Israel manipulating the United States while simultaneously bashing a deal that opens up honest negotiations where Iran can't just say, oh, you stepped on my shoe, I'm not participating, between the United States. If you team up with somebody against someone, you don't want that person talking to the person y'all teaming up against, because that person might be able to convince you to come to their side, or that they're not really a threat and this person won't be able to manipulate you anymore. You got, like, this is a win on so many levels, and it's actually the straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to Israel. Bibi is a warmonger. He likes to fight war because war is what keeps him in power. But the only way to end long-standing conflict is to come to the table and negotiate. And that is what Trump is doing with Iran. And shout out to the president of Iran. That guy seemed like he really wants to reach a compromise, because he was going against even the hardliners in his own country to keep the channel for talks open, right? That's the whole thing. But I don't understand like this right here. David, Iran has Trump by the balls. How? Trump said U.S. will release frozen assets if Iran engages in good behavior. If. Iran will not procure or develop nuclear weapons. Here, these are the two truths. Iran 100% wants nuclear weapons. They were willing to basically let their country be destroyed to get nuclear weapons. 2, Iran does not want the United States telling them what is or isn't good behavior, because they want the right to self-determination. Those are two things. Right in that deal, Iran ain't never going to get a nuclear weapon. Right in that agreement, the MOU, they have to engage in good behavior. You guys, it makes no sense. If I'm telling you you can't do this and you're agreeing not to do it, you ain't got me by the balls. I got you by the balls. But see, me, I'm not even taking an egotistical approach to it. I'm just looking at it for what it is. This like somebody who buy a house trying to argue that the bank ain't really in control of their home. Yes, the bank is, because the bank, if you don't pay them, they taking your shit. It don't matter what you think in your mind. This is our new home. No, that's the bank's house. And until you buy it from the bank, it'll never be yours, right? I want to know, hey guys, look, the link is in the comments. David, come up, man. Don't argue from the comments. And one thing I want you guys to understand, all the people who are trying to manipulate you and force you to think this nonsense, they're all cowards. They could never get up and defend their position. But I'm going to argue based on the facts. Now, it is what it is. From where I'm sitting, this is good. Am I saying, oh, this is a complete and total victory for Trump? I'm not going to say that because we have to get this MOU signed. Then we have to go 30 days plus to see if Iran follows through with the agreement. But at this point, Iran knows one thing that they didn't know when Obama got them to agree to the JCPOA, right? Or is it JPCOA? It's the JCPOA, I think, or JPCOA. I forget the exact. But Iran wasn't worried about getting bombed. Iran never thought that Obama or Biden would bomb them. They knew they wouldn't, as a matter of fact, because they were too scared. Trump did it. He punked the hell out of China, punked the hell out of Russia, bombed the hell out of Iran, destroyed damn near all their military assets. And unfortunately, we lost 13 men and women in our armed forces, and we paid $1.50 more for gas for 3 months. We paid $1.50 more for gas for 3 months. Hey, keep the abusive. Look, man, I'm going to just ban you. I'm going to do this, David, or whatever your name is. Who is this? Daniel? I'm going to give you 1 minute to come up. I'm giving you the link. I'm going to give you one minute to come up. Click the link and come up and express your point, or you're just going to get banned out of the chat. I don't know why I'm telling you, these people are just hyper emotional people who can't be taken serious. Who goes and scours the internet to go and curse at someone and disparage them because this person has an opinion that is different from theirs? They can't explain anything, but get mad at you for having an opinion. You're a dumbass. You're this. Well, explain to me so the audience could know why they shouldn't listen to me. But the reality is, guys, these people are idiots, man. These are the type of people who think grown-ass men should be going in the bathroom with little girls and women. These are the type of people who think a woman can go in a boxing ring and fight with a man and it's a fair fight. Everything the left stands for is pure lunacy. These people think, and this is where we get into the situation with the Great Reset. Perfect timing. Listen, look at the people who hate this deal. Look at the people who want to fight and be against Trump. Don't even look at them. Just look at the things that they support. And this is why I'm telling you, the world needed a reset. Because these types of people, they were beginning to think that their positions were right. And we are slowly unwinding, unraveling this web of lies that they have created. And they're like the devil. The Bible says the devil is walking around like a roaring lion, seeking to devour someone. These people will destroy their own children. What makes you think they're not ready to set the world on fire? These people are voting in Maine for a Nazi after they were just calling all of us Nazis because we didn't agree with them. Now they're saying being a Nazi doesn't really matter as long as your name is Graham Plattner and you're on our side. Guys, let's be real. The more you look at these people, the more everything they've said is turning out to be a lie. The more their corruption and villainous, murderous mindset is being revealed. And one of the main ways it's being revealed is looking at their support for this thug, this absolute thug, Karmelo Anthony, who killed this boy, Austin Metcalf. And these people are so morally bankrupt that they are defending the murderer who admitted, I killed him because he put his hands on me. This boy didn't say they were jumping me. He didn't say I was in fear for my life. He said, yeah, I did it and I killed him because he put his hands on me. And these people are supporting and defending this. But their days are over. They know their time is up. Because the real Americans, the salt of the earth, the people who make this country work are rising up against them. And they don't like it because they're too weak. Guys, did you know, and not to get off track, did you know that LGBTQ pride events all over the country are bankrupt? And I have absolutely nothing against the LGBTQ. But the LGBTQ are no longer supporting pride events because of the corruption, the immorality, the debauchery, and the sadistic nature of it. LGBTQ people are rejecting pride because they're like, I'm gay, but this right here I'm not cool with. That's crazy, right? Because at the end of the day, whether you're blue, black, green, gay, straight, whatever, you can look at something and know that it's evil. And I'm telling you, the left, they are evil. Just look at the things that they support and defend. They are evil. And I hate to call another human being evil, but you got to call it out because you got to warn people not to get close to it.
Hold up. Let me put this right here. For all the people out there that's saying, Karmelo Anthony got jumped. Karmelo Anthony got jumped. He was robbed. 14 people jumped him and stomped him out. It was 4 people doing this to him. They gave him a wet willy. They put fingers in his ear. They licked him on the neck like this. For all the people that's spreading his lie. Y'all all said, y'all saw the video, he got jumped. Let's take a listen to Dominique Alexander, his advocate.
I can tell you I did see the video at Frisco ISD. And the video that at Frisco ISD, it's not like you can sit there and look at the pimple on someone's face, but you can identify what's there, right, in front of you. And so what has been described to me, is like, no, you could at least kind of know and count how many people right there.
You can count how many bodies, but we can't see, like, faces. You know what I mean? Like, we could see, like, okay, somebody sit right there, somebody sit right there, but we couldn't see, like, Karmelo in Austin's face, or, you know what I mean? It just was like...
Look, you don't need to be able to see faces because you liars, her included, said that the boy got jumped by 4 to 5 bigger boys and they were beating on him. It don't matter how grainy the video is. You can see 4 to 5 bodies move towards one body and start engaging in physical contact with that body. That wasn't there. It doesn't matter if you can't see the bodies. It doesn't matter if you can see the bodies. We want to see the face. Well, we already know who was in whose face. Austin Metcalf was in Karmelo Anthony's face. According to Karmelo, Austin Metcalf, if he was still alive, and everybody who was a witness. That's not, we don't need to know. We already know that. We need to know if the lie that these black folks been perpetuating for the past 1.5 years is actually true. And the video is showing us that it is not true.
Kids there.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were saying that they were able to see him getting jumped. I couldn't see that. So I was wondering if you guys saw something different.
No, it's not, I didn't see that with that video, no.
Wow.
I didn't see him getting jumped. Or, you know what I mean? Like I saw movement over there. I saw that there was multiple people around him, but I didn't see he was getting, you know what I mean? Like the alter.
Right. Just spit it out. Karmelo's own lying ass advocate is now telling us, I saw the video. I did not see him getting jumped. Do you realize that was 99.9% of Black America's argument? They were racist. They was jumping on him. He's only 160 pounds. They over 200 pounds. They was on steroids. They bodybuilders. They do jujitsu. Right there. I want you to take what you see here, and I want you to apply it to every situation in which you engage with the left. These people are liars. They will knowingly lie in order to manipulate you over to their side. And then you become a liar too. You become an unwitting accomplice. And the minute you get exposed and ruin your life behind their lies, they're going to abandon you. They're going to abandon you. There's this guy, I don't know if you guys know him. His name is Grandmaster Jay. He ran this group called the NFC Coalition, stands for Not Effing Around Coalition. And it was a bunch of black people, and they would get guns and they would march into cities in the South with their guns like a militia, right? They were like, Grandmaster Jay is the man. He's the new leader of the black community, all this stuff. You had all these women on his coattails. Oh, Grandmaster Jay, Grandmaster Jay. Look. He was leading this militia, so-called. One day, he was in a town, and there were FBI agents on the roof of a building because they're looking and paying attention to what he's doing. And he had a scope, a magnifying scope on top of his assault rifle. This man lifted the gun up to look through the scope to see the agents on the building. Now, obviously, if you're looking through the scope, your gun is pointed at the general direction of those agents if you're looking at them through the scope. I believe this man was sentenced to like 20 years in federal prison. You know what these people who were his loyal supporters did? They did nothing. They abandoned his ass in federal prison, and they just dispersed and went to go pursue some other crazy, dishonest effort. I just was talking to one of them the other day. This lady, I'm not going to say her name, but she was like, oh, we need black towns, and Grandmaster Jay, he's leading us, and we're going to, she was so pumped up. Soon as bro went to jail, she moved. She was gone, right? I said, hey, do you talk to the guy? No. Do you put money on his books to support? No. So you just took off on bro. All that bullshit you was talking about him being the leader and he's so smart and wise and spiritual, that just went out the window. That is what these people do. That is what these people do. They will gaslight you. They will pump you up to make you think they're on your side. They'll manipulate you over to their side, right? And then they'll pump you up on propaganda and bullcrap, right? Get you out there looking like a fool. Understand? And then the minute the fuzz, the heat, the 12 come, and you get arrested or go to jail behind the mess that they brought you into, they're going to abandon you. They're going to abandon you. You cannot trust these leftists. You can't. You cannot trust them. Like we've been saying for years, this is not a real united front. This is a bunch of fragmented a coalition of fragmented groups who have united under their hatred for Trump. And in 2 years, when Trump is gone, they will begin to fight each other, which they are already fighting against each other. Let's be real. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about the NFAC, it's these ignorant fools. And I had a chance to talk to this guy. And I told this guy, I said, this is him. That's him right there.
Out the trenches like I'm Rambo. My heart cold, I'm cutting ties, they call me.
These guys were so tough. They walking into cities gun armed. What's the point of having all these guns if the FBI could walk right in the middle of all y'all, take your leader, put him in handcuffs, and give him 20 years in prison? You look like a fool. So when I get on this internet and I'm talking to y'all about this stuff and telling you, guys, don't follow that. Don't believe that, right? I'm telling you from experience, I've watched too many people go down behind the lies of the left and the con artists, grifters, and swindlers in the black community who secretly covert work for the left. This was all the left right here. This was just another Antifa type situation in the making. Ray said it best, paper tiger. Their leader is now sitting in prison. They at home, going to work their job for the white man. Why bro goes to jail? Plays stupid games, wins stupid prizes. This is the same thing I'm telling you with all this mess. See, let me tell you something. Black folks, and I want all groups of people, use black people as a cautionary tale to show you what you should never do, to show you what not to do when it comes to your political fight. Black folks think that somebody deserves to die for pushing somebody. Can you really take these people serious? Leftist, liberal black people believe that if someone push you, you deserve to die. And then they'll say, nah, it's just the white boy. Yeah, it's racism. No, because black folks been killing each other over stepping on their shoe. Black folks will kill somebody for stepping on their shoe. I remember when I was young, dudes was getting killed over Raider jackets. We will kill someone over them wearing a certain color that we don't like. And you want me to believe that black folks only believe Austin Metcalf deserved to die for pushing Karmelo Anthony? No, the reality is there are people within the black community, far too many people, I would say the majority, who believe that savagery, viciousness, and murderous intent is totally acceptable and normalized. Go look at the way we did each other in Africa during slavery. You had African kings selling their own mamas into slavery. And black people want you to think that the way we're behaving is just a product or a response to racism. That ain't what it is. We have a high capacity for violence, as do other groups. But the other groups' desire for prosperity outweighs their high capacity or potential for violence. They say, well, we could kill and wipe them out to the last man, but we would rather sell them stuff and make a profit off of selling them things. That's what other races have learned. If we kill them, we can't sell them nothing. And if we can't sell them nothing, we don't make money. But too many in the black community ain't got shit, ain't never had shit, don't want shit, so they have nothing that outweighs their bloodlust. They perfectly fine sitting on the couch, watching Don't Be a Menace, smoking cigarettes, weed, crack, and old English by day, and then going out by night, murdering each other in the street, recording on phones, laughing about it, and screaming and joking about it. That's what it is. Our community hasn't replaced bloodlust for the desire for prosperity. for the pursuit of prosperity. And that's what you have right here. This boy, Karmelo Anthony, who could have went to the NFL, because I think he was even being recruited, right? This boy threw his life away so he could be a tough guy at a fucking track meet. Tell me that situation don't validate exactly what I'm saying. Tell me that this situation doesn't validate exactly what I'm saying.
Education, no.
You had a chance to be a success. Get your family out the hood. And they weren't even in the hood. These were relatively successful black folks. But you're teaching your kids to be vicious killers. Like that's going to benefit them. Being a killer don't benefit nobody.
Which apparently the family cheaped out on.
I had him meet with another attorney, a black attorney. The first attorney I had to meet was black. Rain asked me what the price that black attorney was.
Charge?
$500,000.
$500,000.
They weren't talking until they gave him $200,000.
What the white man say?
75.
75,000?
Yeah. And so my thing is like
They're trying to convince.
So look, let's look at this. So they claim they went to a black attorney to get some money, right? I mean, to get some legal representation. The black attorney wanted $500,000. Well, obviously, the black attorney knew how much money y'all collected through GoFundMe. So they hit you up and was like, we want a nice fat chunk of that GoFundMe money. You went to the white attorney, he said $75,000. Y'all went with the white person, why? Because I'm sorry, if it's my son, if I give you $500,000, what can you guarantee me? And you'll have the money. But they went with the $75,000 because they get to spend most of the money on bullshit. And then from what I learned, that white attorney ended up working for free. And your ass got a free pro bono quality of criminal defense. Oh, they wanted $500,000. You telling me every black attorney in Frisco, Texas wanted $500,000? It's a lie. You could even brought an attorney from another part of Texas, and they probably took $100,000 to $200,000. An attorney in Frisco, Texas makes $113,000 a year. They went with the white boy because he was the cheapest. Let's be real. And then I think he ended up being free. And they got that level of criminal defense.
Any case, and Sarah Fields, who is an influencer, is claiming that she saw the tape that everybody else is claiming to see that kind of says something different about what we heard in the courtroom. And what's interesting about it here is her statement claiming to have seen the tape and that what she saw is disproves what every other person who claims to see the tape is saying. She's saying they're all lying, right? But my question is, here is what I was provided, right? And you can see Dwayne Turner saw the tape. It says yes. Next to Sarah Fields' name, it says no. So all I have to say is if she saw it, then why doesn't she just give an email like this that Dwayne Turner supplied me with, which verifies and confirms that he saw the tape? So she should have this exact same email. So Secret Service Sam here with an update. Now, people are alleging that Tiffany Billions saw the video and that she recorded it on her glasses, her Meta glasses. Now, I'm not sure, I cannot verify this, but here is a little bit of the video that she has, and people are saying that she was acting allegedly like she was on the Karmelo Anthony side, but some people are alleging that she might have been paid to sabotage parts of this case. Now, I cannot verify.
Now, mind you, when you start talking about, well, she was pretending to be on the Karmelo Anthony side, understand that for this grifting ass white people like him who will pretend that Karmelo Anthony was in the right so he could get views and clicks from black people on TikTok, and ignorant immoral black folks who want to live in a environment of chaos and violence. When you start talking about sides, that means you don't want the truth. There's no sides. Someone was murdered and there's guilt and innocence. That's it. Was it justified or unjustified? But when you hear these, oh, well, she pretended to be on Karmelo's side. Ain't no sides. The only side you should want to be on is the side of the truth and the facts.
This, but all I have to say is if she does have the video, she needs to come forward and release it. Check this out.
Oh, this is the Karmelo video. Yeah, you really can't make out shit in this video from what I'm seeing.
So now the question comes, does she actually have the rest of this footage? Somebody needs to release this footage so the public is able to see for themselves what actually happened on that day.
Okay, so you saw the video, family, and you saw somebody coming through this hard. It's extremely hard to make out what's going on, but if she was able to get in there and see that much of that video, then that means that other people can get in there and see it too. I'm just hoping that they can get that video evidence before they destroy it, because they already took the video and manipulated it for the court. That's what they did. They took the video and manipulated it for the court. They got scenes in the video there's timestamps missing from the video.
And then and what I want you to understand, there is a network of grifters that black people know are grifters. They're aware these people are grifters. People like Willie D, Tariq Nasheed. Black people know these people are dishonest. They know these people will get on the internet and blatantly lie to perpetuate a narrative. Black people still listen to them, still follow them, and hang on every word. This boy talking about they manipulated the footage. Well, Willie D, prove it to us. Pull it up, show us. This boy saying he ain't never even seen the footage. God, this is so freaking annoying. This grown ass black raccoon just made it clear he never saw the footage. But if you never saw the footage, Willie, how are you gonna know that the footage has been manipulated? I want you to think about that. This man just said someone needs to get that footage so the public can see it. But then says 1 minute later that the footage was manipulated. Listen.
Okay, so you saw the video, family, and you saw somebody coming through this hard. It's extremely hard to make out what's going on, but if she was able to get in there and see that much of that video, then that means that other people can get in there and see it too. I'm just hoping that they can get that video evidence before they destroy it, because they already took the video and manipulated it for the court.
How do you know that when you never saw the video? How does this man who built a career disparaging black women, calling them bees and hoes, and degrading them on record, how does this man, without ever seeing the footage himself, come to the determination that the footage was manipulated before it was shown to the court? And this guy got 1 million subscribers and they all black.
That's what they did. They took the video and manipulated it for the court. They got scenes in the video there's timestamps missing from the video. There's actually minutes, but the timestamp got chopped up. Now, y'all know when they play those chopped up games, they're trying to conceal something. They don't want us to see something.
How do you know?
That's what that's about. That is what I want all of y'all out there to do to people that hate Carmelo Anthony. But you love justice. You got to pick a side.
Look what he said. The people who hate Carmelo Anthony, but you love justice. You got to pick a side. So we got to choose between injustice, right? Or justice. Injustice, meaning Carmelo walks on murdering somebody. Or justice, which means he take his ass to jail for killing somebody at a high school track meet. The more these people talk, the more they reveal to you how evil they are and how opposed to these people love lawlessness. You remember in the Bible when Jesus was in front of the Pharisees and he said, "You workers of lawlessness." When you first read that as a kid, you didn't know what the hell that meant. Because during the time you were growing up, we didn't live in a time of lawlessness. But now, isn't it crazy how that word is applicable today? These guys are not only workers of lawlessness, they are lovers of lawlessness. This man, this grown-ass man, about to be 60, just told you got to pick a side. Either you're going to support the criminal, Carmelo Anthony, and what he represents, which is just murderous bloodlust and stupidity, or justice in what it represents, which is truth, transparency, safety, and progress. But I bet you he don't even live in a black neighborhood. I bet you wouldn't catch this fool nowhere near a kid like Carmelo Anthony. See, because all the death and the violence and destruction, that's good enough for you and the peons and the poor people. But for them, they go move in communities right next door to the same white people they calling racist and wave at them every morning. "Hey, how you doing? And in case I don't see you, good evening, good morning, and good night," or whatever. It's all hypocrisy, y'all. This is why the world needs a reset. It needed a reset.
You have to pick a side. Either you are for justice. Justice meaning just, right? Either you're for justice or you're not. Y'all know damn well if there's a video that exists of the stabbing and they're not releasing it to the public, it is because they are trying to hide something. They are absolutely trying to hide something. Anytime they have a video and refuse to release the video, they are trying to hide something. Anytime they have a video.
And y'all do know you can go and petition the school board and they'll give you the video. You can watch it. The video is free for anyone to watch due to the Freedom of Information Act. All you do is petition the school. They send you a link to watch the video. Many people have done it. I've never done it because I know he's guilty. He said he was guilty. Once you tell me, yeah, I stabbed him, I'm not alleged, I did it because he put his hands on me, your ass is going to jail. You've admitted it. You didn't come up, this boy, when the police went to go take this boy to jail, he didn't say, hey, they was jumping on me, man. Hey, man, I thought I was going to die. They was on me, they was stomping me out. They was punching me and choking me. He didn't say none of that. I'm telling you, I believe this kid is a sociopath. I believe this kid would have went on to be a serial killer. Serial killers went to high school too, and most of them didn't kill nobody. I believe this boy has something mentally wrong with him. And I also think he might have been under the influence of drugs, but when I looked it up, they don't drug test minors when they are arrested in Texas. There's a lot more going on with this situation than we will ever know. Because the people who are hiding things are Karmelo and his parents. That's what's really going on. Those are the people really hiding things. But they want you to think, oh, the prosecutor and attorney, and they racist. Ooh, they so racist, you petition them for a court-appointed attorney. Woo, they so racist, you petition them for a court-appointed attorney again. While you had a pocket full of money. Shout out to my girl, Darlene M, for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. She didn't actually chat anything, but thank you. Guys, we are only 4 more $5 contributions away from hitting our goal today. Let's make it a beautiful Thursday. You guys buy me a coffee. I'm out of coffee. So you guys will be buying me a bag of coffee because this is actually my coffee from yesterday, and there was some left, and I was kind of drinking it, which is horrible, right? I'm down bad. I'm as down bad as Kamala Harris, man. So please contribute to the stream. If you do not have super chat feature enabled on your device, there is also a link to Cash App and a link to PayPal pinned to the top of the stream, of the chat box. So please bless us with a contribution so we could hit our goal. And if you are not in a position to contribute, please do me a favor and just hit that like button so we can get in the algorithm and blow this channel up, because this is a channel that needs to be blown up. Defendant Brian. My name is Brandon. But anyway, Defendant Brian. But anyway, yeah. So there's a lot more to this than we'll ever know, because the mom is hiding things. The dad is hiding things. Karmelo, he's never going to be honest. I mean, look at the soulless look in this kid's eyes, man. These kids, I've been looking at different killings and stuff committed by black youth, and all these guys just have this soulless look in their eyes, like the lights are on but nobody's home. I don't know if this is some type of drug they now got a hold to. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's fentanyl or what, but these dudes are looking like straight serial killer sociopaths. And Karmelo got this look in his eyes every time. I made a post on YouTube. I said, why this dude always got this soulless look in his eyes? That's not right. That is, to me, that is not normal. Why do you have a soulless look in your face? Like you just don't care about anything. That to me is troubling. I'm not gonna lie. That to me is seriously disturbing. I'm gonna see if I can show y'all. Look, right here. You can say, black folks, we gonna defend anything. Oh, he had a bad day. Look, 3 pictures. Look, this Karmelo right here. Look at his face. Bro, you is going to jail. You've been arrested for murder. Look at his eyes. Same look. No despair, no remorse in his face. And right here looked like he was high on something. His eyes is glossy, but it looked like he's inebriated. This guy always has this soulless look on his face. There's something going on in this boy's head. And I don't even know if they gave him a psychological evaluation. Let me see. Did Karmelo Anthony undergo a psychological evaluation? No. No. Wow, look. No, there's no record. Look. Look. No. No, there's no record in the provided search context of Karmelo Anthony undergoing a psychological evaluation. The context does mention a psychological evaluation in a different case, Michael Gledhill, who was ordered by a superior court judge to undergo a psychological evaluation during his court proceedings after allegedly killing actor James Handy. Oh, let me see. Karmelo Anthony, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, there's no mention and this boy undergoing a psychological evaluation. This is crazy. Why? Why? I mean, yeah, it's oh well, too bad, so sad. But why wouldn't like as a parent, to help your son in any way possible, wouldn't you say, can you please have my son undergo a psychological evaluation to see if there's something in his mind that just click on and off in certain situations that might cause him to lash out violently? These parents, like Jeff Metcalf said, these parents abandoned their son. They abandoned this boy because I could look this boy in the face and tell you there's something wrong with him. I could look this boy in the face and tell you there's something wrong with him because he just looks like he doesn't really realize the gravity of the situation he's in. And guess what? They said in the courtroom, bro was just sitting there emotionless. You ain't lying, Miss Berry. His parents truly gave zero fucks. You not even gonna ask for a psychological evaluation? Listen, this is the only channel that's gonna go this deep into this case. This is the only channel that's gonna ask the questions that need to be asked. Somebody said, you only covering this if you grifted. No, I'm not. Because this social media world is so hinged on being the first to report something with no context and no deep dive, right? That's why I like these lives, right? You're telling me that this boy parents didn't even bother to ask for him to be put under a psychological, for him to undergo a psychological evaluation before they let this boy be sentenced to 35 years in prison? That should have been the first thing they did, a drug test and a psych eval. Well, now I know why my son killed him. My son was high on PCP, and I didn't know he was using it. And he wasn't really in control. Or my son has a mental illness, undiagnosed, that caused him to lash out violently. Because I'm just asking you this question. I mean, because you have to understand. Do you understand what is required to drive a 3-inch knife into someone's heart? Do you understand how much effort that requires? I remember one time my uncle, he hit this deer. We was up in Angeles National Forest. We cut that thing up. It was so hard to cut that deer up. I know you don't just casually with a 3-inch knife say and get to somebody's heart and kill them. Think about that. You 100% right, Deborah. They didn't even show up to his sentencing hearing. They didn't even come to his trial. You can just shut up. It's over with. He got 35 years and he's not getting out. He murdered somebody. Deborah, you act like I'm defending the guy. I know Karmelo is guilty, but I believe Karmelo's guilty verdict is a part of a greater reset. You should evaluate your life, seeing as how you are clearly elderly and you on the internet mad at the world. It's not our fault that your life didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. But you on the channel of accountability. This ain't that other stuff you be watching. This ain't 4chan. This is the channel of accountability. We don't care about the color. If you do some nonsense, like your nonsense coming at me, you're getting called out. Okay? You're going to get called out. Anyway, so they didn't even ask for a drug test, psych eval, nothing. Basically, they got that boy criminal defense money, what is estimated to be $1.4 million. And they was like, it's time to go shopping. I'm calling you out. I'm not even going to say your name, hater. They just said it's time to go shopping. This is, it couldn't have been mine. It couldn't have been my kid. You didn't even fight for him. You abandoned the kid. Now he's guilty of sin. But damn, at least your mom and daddy, that's why Charleston White abandoned this situation. I 100%, the day after I said this boy parents didn't give a damn about him, they didn't even come to a sentencing hearing and all that. The day after I did a show saying that, Charleston White came out and said that daddy don't give a damn about his son. You can see it. I don't care about FBA. FBA, come up. Come up. You don't even know if Karmelo Anthony is FBA. But the whole thing is there's something psychologically wrong with this kid. And I hope whatever prison he goes to, I hope they have the decency to subject him to or submit him to for psychological evaluation and get to the bottom of it. It's something about the look in this kid's eyes. He's either on the spectrum, something. A lot of these kids be on the spectrum. I think Jalen Brunson, the the dude who just won the NBA title. Sorry, my voice is kind of going. The dude who just won the NBA title, I believe he's on the spectrum. And because I worked with autistic people for years, I can kind of sense it. I kind of detect it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Karmelo look like he on the spectrum. He looking like Lenny from of Mice and Men. There's just something. He just has this look on his face like he doesn't understand the gravity of the situation. But it is what it is. He's on his way to prison. Well, he's already there. Just I feel bad. I don't even feel bad for him, but it's sad. He got parents who don't even give a damn about him. That crazy ass daddy looking like Steve Urkel. Steve Yuckel. How do you look like you're on the spectrum? It's in the eyes. It's in the eyes for me. He is a killer. Brandon, you called him a killer. Did you watch the whole video? Yes or no? No, I didn't watch it. But I know he's a killer because he said he's a killer. He said, I did it. I stabbed him because he put his hands on me. He's a killer. Well, listen, the point here is not, the point that's not being argued is whether or not Karmelo Anthony is a killer. We know he's a killer. What's being argued is whether or not him killing that boy was justified. And based on Karmelo's words, the killing wasn't justified. Do you understand? See? But I'll tell you, a lot of black people teach their kids to be killers. A lot of black people teach their kids to overreact. You look at how black people act when they get called the N-word. Black people believe that they have the right to kill for someone calling them the N-word. If someone calls them the N-word. But to sit up and call other people every word up under the sun and expect to just be able to walk off. Black people think, look at these black women. They go up in the fast food place. You get their order wrong. They crash their car through the damn the front window of the damn fast food place. They go back to the back of the thing. They go behind the counter and start beating up the staff. And if you kill one of them, they be saying you a racist and you the worst thing ever. Ain't it funny how the same group of people who think they had a right to go behind the counter and beat up the staff because their order is wrong and live to tell about it, the same people believe they have the right to do that. They believe that Karmelo had a right to kill Austin Metcalf for allegedly pushing him. Is that not crazy? Goes back to lawlessness. Goes right back to lawlessness, Darlene. Black folks act crazy as hell and live to tell about it, but believe that they should be allowed to murder someone for the slightest offense. It don't add up. Did y'all hear the story about the black lady, elderly woman? died. Died trying to fight the employees at a food place. Died. Old black lady fighting folks. Fighting folks over some fast food mess and died. Laid out and died. Crazy shit ever. Look at this. These the people I want y'all to truly understand. I want y'all to truly understand something. The same people screaming Karmelo is innocent and Austin Metcalf shouldn't have touched him and all that, these the same folks shooting at each other over getting an order wrong. The dispute, look. A Florida McDonald's employee shot at a customer after an argument over their order. The dispute began in the drive-thru when the customer felt their order was incorrect. Chastity Garner threw a drink at the customer, then attempted to walk off. The customer returned and retaliated. Threw a drink at her or whatever. This woman went and got a gun. Police says the customer drove away. Gardner walked outside and shot at their vehicle. Like, guys, I want you to understand something. It's not nothing like there's no mystery here. Black people believe that they have a right to act, not all, but too many. Black people believe they have a right to act in an animalistic way at the slightest offense. And the black people like me who say you can't be doing that, we're the bad guys. You're the bad guy because you won't let me operate in an animalistic way around you and your family. Why is you don't see no white person working at Wendy's carrying a damn gun? I'm being real with you. This is why when black people get money, you know what the first thing they do? They move away from other black people. You say what you want to. You could say what you want to. That was a black woman at the thing taking the order, a black woman placing the order, and one of the black women went and got a gun and wanted to murder the other black woman over throwing a dead. She threw a cup of juice at them first. And then when they threw the cup of juice back at her, she went and got a gun. This is Karmelo Anthony. The exact situation. Y'all did equal dirt. You threw a cup of juice at them, they threw a cup of juice at you. But one of them wanted to take it a step further. That situation took her to the point where she was ready to kill. Yes, she is. These type of people are the ones online saying, no, he should have kept his hands to himself. He shouldn't have touched him. He shouldn't have this. Because they will look for any justification to operate in an animalistic way. And if they could justify Karmelo's animalistic behavior, they believe that then in turn justifies their own animalistic behavior. There are black people, a lot of black people, they thrive in a lawless environment. Why do you think our communities look the way they do? That's not because our communities aren't violent because, everybody poor. That's what they try to tell you. It's violent because of poverty. They're liars. They're liars. Karmelo Anthony was not a poor kid. This woman was working a job. So clearly she wasn't like poor. She had the means to go get a job, right? She can work. This is all about mindset and culture. Black culture is a self-destructive culture. The only problem is if you get too close to it, you will get touched and you will die too. That's the reality of this whole situation. But, I'm an outcast for saying that shit. Well, outcast me then. People exile themselves from the black community. They move and they never come back. Zard, shout out to the bro. Thank you for the $5 holler. Here you go. Brandon Karmelo has that soulless fisheye look. 100%. The boy looked like something wrong with him. He got the same look that this heifer got. Look, she looked like she might be on the spectrum. And that's what I'm thinking might be the common denominator here. Undiagnosed mental illness. She got the same look. Her and Karmelo got the same soulless look in their face. I think I'm finding a common denominator here. They all have this soulless look in their eye. What the hell is you shooting at somebody at a drive-thru for? Please tell me. But I'm the bad guy for calling it out. I'm the bad guy for calling it out. Ain't that about nothing? Ain't that about nothing? Damn, somebody threw a Chipotle bowl. This is a mess. And it's every week. What about this? What about the lady who died? Tim Houston's. Never been there, but I want to go. This old black lady, she dropped dead. That woman was the mother of Karmelo. She was Carmelo Anthony's spiritual mother. This is Carmelo Anthony's spiritual grandmother right here.
This next story out of Fort Wayne is getting a lot of attention today, certainly disturbing. Police released video of an elderly woman in a fight with a coffee shop employee shortly before she died. Police say 75-year-old Anita Ann Grayson went into the Tim Hortons, a coffee chain there, because she had an issue with her drive-thru order. Well, they say she then began berating a teenage worker. You can see in this video a shift leader walks over, steps between them. Moments later, a fight breaks out. Police say after the fight, Grayson sat down at a table and was talking on the phone when she laid down on the floor. Workers noticed she needed help.
Nah, she ran up on the wrong white girl. That white girl took off on her ass as she should. As she should. Take off on her ass. Old ass. What you up here arguing? My granny was sweet as pie, wasn't trying to argue with nobody.
Into the Tim Hortons, a coffee chain there, because she had an issue with her drive-thru order. Well, they say she then began berating a teenage worker. You can see in this video a shift leader walks over, steps between them.
Now, the black lady arguing with the kid, right? The shift leader stood between them, trying to get the lady going about her business. The black lady pushes the shift leader
with her drive-thru order. Well, they say she then began berating a teenage worker.
She pushed the worker.
See in this video, a shift leader walks over,
pushed the shift leader.
Steps between them. Moments later, a fight breaks out.
Black lady punched her right in the face. The black lady punched. I don't know if y'all can see that good. The black lady punched her right in the face. According to the Carmelo Anthony supporters, this white woman now has the right to viciously murder this white lady. This black lady. But I bet you they'll say it was racism. They'll say racism. If this shift leader pulled out a knife and stabbed this old black lady through the heart, the same black people who said that Austin Metcalf deserved to die for touching Carmelo Anthony will say that this white woman was a racist white supremacist for doing the same exact thing to a black woman that they praised and supported and funded Carmelo Anthony's legal defense fund for doing the same damn thing he did. This is where the hypocrisy comes in. This is where the hypocrisy comes in. And this white lady did what Carmelo should have did. Somebody put their hands on you, take off on him. But Carmelo was a coward. That's the whole difference.
Say after the fight, Grayson sat down at a table and was talking on the phone when she
put her ass on her pockets, as she should.
She laid down on the floor. Workers noticed she needed help. They called for help. Medics tried to save her, but she did not survive.
Hey,
This next story out of Fort Wayne is
listen,
getting
man, when your ass is old and elderly, when you old and elderly, you need to sit your ass down somewhere. Straight up. When you're old and elderly, go sit your ass down somewhere. You think because someone white, they automatically weak and you could manipulate and exploit them? No. And she learned that lesson, but it cost her her life. Karmelo learned the lesson too, but it's going to cost him 35 years of his. If he don't get out in 17 years, which I think he should have got out in 99 years. But like my granny used to say, black folks, pay attention. It's going to tell on you before you tell on it. You got two choices. Either be honest and change your ways or deal with the consequences, because people ain't taking this shit no more from you. What about all the AI pics of people taking a leak on the Austin Metcalf grave? How lost is the black community? Carmelo Anthony's parents sold him to TDCJ. What is that? Texas Department of Correction in Jessup? Yeah. Maybe they did. Yeah, because then the guy testified that they need him for slave labor. Yeah, his parents sold him. His parents didn't give him the care he needed, the help he needed. I believe Carmelo Anthony is on the spectrum. There's just something in me. Something in me is saying, pause. Something in me is telling me that this boy is on the spectrum. It's given. That's what it's given. Why they didn't ask for a psychological evaluation is just crazy. But thank you so much, Holy Antics? I think that's Holy Antics. Holy Antics. Thank you so much for the $5 Hey, all y'all, subscribe to the channel. I want y'all to come back, man. Let's do it. Let's bust down these videos and these topics daily. Why not? Shout out to Third Leg Raider. You're freaking disgusting. Third Leg Raider. Shout out to you for the $2 holler. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Guys, how close to our goal are we? I need to know. Are we hitting our goal for today? Because we making time today. Let me see. I'm just checking. Because we're going to get into this last topic with Kamala. Kamala Harris. You always got to save the best for last. Put my message up. What message? I did put it up. Third Leg Raider. I did. I put your $2 up. There you go right there. There you go. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, you know you a hoe. What the heck? This must be one of those no jumper people. Oh, is that the one Mexican? Comparator? Please don't tell me that's Comparator. Wow. He's a thug, a degenerate from LA over here. He be on no jumper. Keep your BS prayers. What the Kamala? Ooh, hey guys, we are two $5 super chats away from hitting the goal. We have 3. Let me see. Where are we? Yes, we are 2 away. Let's get to 5. Let's get to 5 in this last segment. Chameleon. All right, y'all. We got to talk about this girl. Kamala Harris. Kamala. That lady is annoying as freak. Man, when I tell you Kamala Harris is the worst, the absolute worst, and I don't really know who's worst, Kamala or Midas Touch. Because, I didn't even know Midas Touch was a thing until Thanksgiving. I was at my uncle's house, and he was crying about the Gaza Strip war, the fight in Gaza. And I brought up the fact that Donald Trump ended the conflict in Gaza, which he was just praised for by Hillary Clinton just like 2 days ago. And he said, I just want the children to stop dying, right? And I said, well, seeing as how just a week after Donald Trump was reelected, he stopped the fighting in Gaza, shouldn't you be happy with Trump? Because he stopped the fighting, which then caused the death of children to cease, the killing of children to cease. Nah, but it's just too little too late. No. You didn't say you wanted it done in a certain time period. You said you wanted it done. And he did it. And then I said to him, I said, look, but if you got a problem with it being too little too late, right? Well, shouldn't your issue be with Joe Biden, who sat idly by in the White House while Israel was blowing the shit out of while Israel was bombing the shit out of Gaza? See, that's these people's mind. You have a problem with Trump for ending the conflict, right? But then you have a problem. You don't have a problem with Biden, who sat by for a year and just allowed it to happen. See, that's how, like I keep telling you guys, these people are 100% deceptive. They're manipulators. They're dishonest. They hate peace. They hate progress, and they hate prosperity. The 3 Ps, they hate it because they thrive on chaos, violence, division, immorality. They thrive on this. I'm trying to look for this damn video. Oh, here it goes. They thrive on this stuff.
That's not why we're here.
Yeah, sure.
These people, they thrive on this. So that's why when it comes to Trump or anybody, any normal person, when you deal with these people, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. There's no win with these people. You can't win. That's why we got to just stop taking them serious and, just move forward. And that's what I appreciate Trump for doing. Trump is just like, damn these people to hell. We moving forward. Thank you, Darlene, for the $5 holler. Funding the Kamala topic. Thank you so much. Guys, don't let Darlene do all the heavy lifting. We got one more to reach our goal, and all of our days will be blessed. Let's get into this. So my uncle was whining like a teenage girl. And I said, where do you get your news? And he said, well, I watch Midas Touch. And I don't know if you guys know this. I had an opportunity to actually debate Destiny, someone who is good friends with Midas Touch and Adam Mockler and all these people. And I personally think I cooked him because I just came with common sense. And I know that Midas Touch, they are a propaganda channel. It's all about Democrats are the best, greatest thing ever, and Trump is the worst thing ever. It will always be like that. They will never give Trump credit. So I told him, I said, yeah, you're being indoctrinated. At least be like a normal person. Go get your news from different sources. I get my news from Ground News, the 1440. I watch Fox News. I watch News Nation. I watch MSNBC, CNN, because I just want to get all the perspectives on it, right? Because sometimes CNN and MSNBC might surprise me and actually give some honest reporting on something, right? But you never know unless you watch it. But let's check this out, because now the liberal channel, Midas Touch, is doing something that the Democrat Party can't do, and their candidates can't do. The Democrat Party cannot tell you why you should vote Democrat. They can explain to you the policy ideas and strategy they have that is superior to the Republicans. The Democrat Party itself can't tell you. But for some reason, biased pundits, far left-leaning propaganda channels can. The candidate can't tell you why you should vote for them, but Midas Touch can tell you why you should vote for them.
Wow, she's back. Former Vice President Kamala Harris just gave an incredible speech at the 10th Austrian World Summit. She's actually speaking with Arnold Schwarzenegger. She got a standing ovation. I want to show you what went down. Former Vice President Kamala Harris talked about the Trump regime being the most callous and corrupt regime in American history. Let's watch what.
So the Trump regime is the most callous, corrupt regime in American history, as she literally sits with Austrians. You know who was Austrian, right? You know who was Austrian, right? As much as they calling people Nazis and everything else, they go sit with the Austrians to say Trump regime was the most callous. There were a lot worse administrations than the Trump administration, by far.
She said,
"What is essentially the most callous, corrupt, and incompetent presidential administration America's ever experienced."
Now I want to show you the full portion of her comments right there. Very, very powerful.
Literally a propaganda network. No opinion on what she said. Regurgitating her talking points verbatim. He says them, then she says them.
Let's play it.
Predicted just about everything that has happened with this administration.
And you say I told you so?
I don't say I told you so. That's kind of obnoxious. I don't say that, but the reality is many of us predicted, and it didn't require much creative thought because he told us most of what we knew would happen, including that he would go after his political enemies using the Department of Justice.
Yeah, 100%. Donald Trump told you what he was going to do, and he actually did it. This is a foreign concept to the Democrats because they lie and tell you they're going to do all this stuff. They don't actually promise you. They just insinuate that they're going to do all this stuff, right? And then, you know what they do after that? Once you elect them, once they get in, they don't do anything. So a politician or someone who's a political outsider who gets elected and then actually does what they say they're going to do, to them, that's an enemy. To them, that's someone they have to eliminate, because they don't want to get people used to this idea of politicians actually doing what they say they're going to do. That's the whole issue. They don't want to get people used to that. Trump has made it incredibly hard for the Democrat Party, because if they get reelected, it's going to be just like what happened with Joe Biden. People are going to quickly identify the fact that they never intended to do the things that they promised, and it's going to be a landslide victory in the next election, and they might not ever get control of the White House again.
I am not surprised that he may be using the Department of Justice to go after a political enemy in the current governor of California. And this is why I do believe this, upon many other examples of what is essentially, you're going to ask me questions about the current president, I'm going to be candid, what is essentially the most callous, corrupt, and incompetent presidential administration America's ever experienced. And for that reason, I have no question or doubt that we will win the midterms, and it will be a result of people of every background and political association who will contribute to that outcome. I mentioned to one of the officials here, it's important, and I say this to all of my friends here who are not from the United States. Please do know and recall.
Hold on. I want to get into that in a second. But I want to point out how she pointed out, how she said that Donald Trump is going after Gavin Newsom, who is his political enemy, right? Here's the reality. Donald Trump is going after corruption in the state of California. I live in California. I know the corruption is rampant. Why all of a sudden now? Why is Gavin Newsom suddenly Trump's political enemy? When even during COVID, Gavin Newsom praised Trump. for all he did to help California.
Also want to just thank, yesterday announced that the president was extending support for new swabs to get more specimens, to increase our testing capacity. We got word today that 100,000 swabs that he committed this week, 90,000 are arriving, and we'll start to distribute them in the next day or so. That's very encouraging. I know it's not the 100,000, but they told me they'll make up for that 10,000 next week when the 250,000 arrives. So conversation, commitment, promise made, promise kept. 90,000 on the way, be distributed tomorrow.
Okay, so that's Gavin Newsom talking about Donald Trump. Promise made, promise kept. Promise made, promise kept.
Fact is, every time I've called the president, he's quickly gotten on the line. When we asked to get support for that Mercy ship in Southern California, he was able to direct that in real time.
What the federal government did, working with states, was a phenomenal accomplishment.
We got 2,000 of these field medical sites that are up, almost all operational now in the state because of his support. And those are the facts.
His team has been on it. I know a team when they're on it, and I know a team when they're not on it. His team is on it. They've been responsive late at night, early in the morning.
We are working very well with FEMA Region 2 and with the Army Corps of Engineers, building 4 field hospitals. That was a decision the president himself took, and I'm grateful for it.
These were just extraordinary efforts and acts of mobilization. And the federal government stepped up. We needed help, and they were there.
He said everything that I could have hoped for. And we had a very long conversation. And every single thing he said, they followed through on.
We've got to have double the number of ventilators that we requested for that area of the state. And in fact, we got them in, frankly, short order.
Have we lost anyone because we didn't have a bed, or we didn't have a ventilator, or we didn't have healthcare staff? No.
The president was extending support for new swabs. So conversation, commitment, promise made, promise kept.
So now Trump is his political enemy. So the same president who worked with him, dozens of other Democrat governors, gave them everything they needed, didn't politicize the moment, didn't use the moment for political leverage to bash Democrat policies. All these taxes, they taxing people, but haven't used the taxes to build a proper medical infrastructure. He gave them everything they needed. Now, Kamala Harris is coming back, saying, no, he's our political enemy. He's only coming after us because he's our political enemy. No, he's coming after you because you're incredibly corrupt. That's why.
It's important, and I say this to all of my friends here who are not from the United States. Please do know and recall that in the 2024 election, 1/3 of the electorate voted for the current president. 1/3 voted for us, 1/3 did not vote, which means 2/3 of the American electorate did not vote for this.
Yeah, two-thirds of the American electorate did not vote for this, and 2/3 of the American electorate did not vote for you, Kamala. And you ran the worst campaign in history. If you still received 1/3 of the vote, if you were at least competent on a minimal level, you would have won that election easily. She doesn't realize that when she bashes Trump and tries to use numbers to justify why Trump is not a good president, she doesn't understand that she's also bashing herself. Kamala Harris had a gimme election. You know how they say they're going to go for the go-ahead bucket? This election for Kamala was a layup, and she blew it.
And so when there are questions being raised among our friends around the world, who are the American people, I think it is important to know and remember that the American people do stand, the majority of us, for the alliances that we have formed over decades, do stand for the importance of America being, the Chancellor talked about this, reliable as a partner, being an authority among many on important issues, including this changing climate and what we must do to save this dear planet of ours.
And on more.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God. You look, Trump is bad. Trump's evil. He's doing this. What y'all gonna do? We gonna drag y'all back to the climate change hoax. We're gonna give more. We're gonna make a commitment and dog whistle to the European Union and NATO. When we get in, you will be able to pilfer the American taxpayer dollars once again. These are all just dog whistles, telling them if the Democrats get reelected, we are going back to business as usual, where you guys are taking advantage of us, and we in turn are taking advantage of the American people, and you guys are kicking us back the money that we steal from them and give to you. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. Oh, it's important. Why do these people feel the need to go to other countries to disparage not only the president, but the American people who support this president? Why do they have to get on a stage in another country to be treasonous and bash our commander-in-chief? That's the only thing I have an issue with.
From former Vice President Kamala Harris as she talks about Donald Trump's disastrous, catastrophic, and unlawful war that no American wanted. She makes it very clear where she would stand on these issues. I want you to watch right here.
First off, if you were president, does that war even happen?
So are we going to have this conversation? I'm happy to.
Sure. Yeah.
First of all, this is a war the American people did not want. This is a war of choice. This is a president who has proven himself to be entirely self-indulgent. And we will see what happens in the coming hours and days in terms of the negotiation. And really, it's a concept of an agreement and where it ends up. But there is no question that there is a direct correlation between this war of choice and what has happened in terms of gas prices. It is.
Kamala Harris wants you to believe that she cares about gas prices as she sat up under Joe Biden and let gas prices hit record levels. As she sat for years as a senator in California under the Barack Obama administration, where gas prices were even higher than they are now for years. Guys, there was an entire year or 2 years where gas was over $5 a gallon in California. I remember that because I was a young man struggling to put gas in my car. Now, $5 gas, oh my God, this is the end of the world. No, when gas sat at $5 for years in California under Obama, it was all good because the president was black. Now she wants you, and she was a senator at that time, a state senator. Now she wants you to believe that she suddenly cares about the cost of gas. Then I want you to notice this. She keeps saying, oh, this is a war of choice. This is a war of choice. This is a war of choice. You know why she's doing that? She's front loading the conversation. She's saying, this is a war of choice, right? Because if she was president, she would have done the exact same thing that Trump's doing. But she would have said, I had no choice. I had to do it. She would have been forced by Congress in the war hawks to do the exact same thing, right? If you guys believe it was Israel, the Israel would have forced her to do the same exact thing, but she would have just taken a different approach. She would have said, she wouldn't have owned it. She would have said, well, we had to do it. We were forced to do it. Iran's actions forced us to do it. Whereas Trump just come out and say, hell, I've been wanting to blow their ass up since 2016. Which leader do you want? The one who takes accountability for his actions and says, yeah, I did it because I wanted to do it. and we needed to do it. Or the one who tries to say, well, we had no choice. Why didn't they end the conflict in Gaza? Why didn't they tell Bibi Netanyahu, stop the bombing right now, like Trump did? She was right there in the White House. She was right there with Biden, as she say, when every important decision was made. But she wants to tell you, oh, this is a war of choice. He's indulgent. So why did you let Gaza happen? Why did you let Bibi kill kids in Gaza under Biden? Why weren't you and Biden moving to stop the conflict in Gaza? They were sending missiles and weapons to Bibi while simultaneously sending aid to Gaza, food aid. This is what I'm telling you. If you really look at this situation and these people for who they are, they're lying to you. They're telling you, trust us, give us the keys. But we can't promise you that we're going to drive the car any better. Her and Biden gave Israel money and weapons that they turned around and used to kill kids and women in Gaza. Kamala did that. But she gonna sit up here and talk about Trump. When Trump came in, immediately ended the conflict in Gaza, ended 9 wars, and then felt we needed to go after Iran. Boy, you ended 9 wars and started 1. I would say that's a good trade-off. And it only lasted 3 months. And gas is already going back down. 4 days ago, I paid $4.75 for gas, which is a good price in California. This is all facts. No cap. Shout out to my boy Daryl Ross in the building. My guy, this is day one. This is one of my day one kinfolk right here. $5 holler. He puts us right on our goal. He got us over the hump. Thank you to everyone who helped us reach our goal. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate you, my brother. Yeah. All they can tell you is why you should vote for them instead of the Republicans. All they can tell you is that you should vote for them instead of the Republicans. But they cannot tell you why you should do that. So they rely on propaganda channels to tell you for them. But there's no accountability in that equation. Because if the propaganda channel tell you something and then they don't deliver, then what? You just get screwed. What happened to the George Floyd Act? What happened to defund the police? What happened to reparations? They didn't deliver on any of that crap. They got in the White House and act like they didn't even know you.
Estimated the average American has spent since the war started.
Look at this.
$500 more because of this war. And I will add to that number, to put it in context, the average American is $400 away from bankruptcy for any unexpected expense. So $400 of an unexpected expense could result in bankruptcy for the average American. And this war has resulted in $500 more of expenses, a large part of that because of the gas prices going up.
But to be clear, if you were president, you never start this war.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And
no, absolutely not. I would have just gave Iran $20 billion, let them attack Israel so Israel could attack them in return. We fund Israel, get back kickbacks for funding Israel. They had a cycle. They had a game going. They had a hustle going. And they're mad at Trump because he's putting it into the hustle. They had a hustle going. Bibi and all them. Bibi been friends with Biden and them for decades. They know what to do. This is the same hustle they've been running since the Vietnam War. It's the same hustle. But let me tell you this. She talks about gas prices. The average American paid $500 more for gas over the course of 3 months. That's like $166 a month more every American paid for gas, right? Okay, I get that. I understand that. Here's my thing. If I paid $5.49 in California for a gallon of gas, if we remove the $2 in state taxes and regulatory fees that is attached to every gallon of gas, how much would I have been paying for gas? $3.49. So if you cared so much about gas prices, right? Why didn't you guys suspend the California gas tax for 3 months while Trump had us over in Iran, right? So that would ease the burden on the California voters when they went to the pump. California has given the Democrats the entire state. The Democrats 100% control California. Why didn't the Democrat politicians say, look, we gonna bless y'all for giving us this state. Trump is messing us up. He's making gas prices go up. So out of love and respect and admiration for the people who gave us 100% control of this state, we are going to suspend the gas tax for the duration of the conflict, or we'll move to suspend it for 2 months or 3 months at a time. And in 3 months, we'll revisit it and decide whether or not to reinstate the gas tax. This is what I try to tell people as a California resident. When you vote for Democrats, you never get anything. They take everything from you. They lie. They say they're going to take everything from the rich. The rich get up and move to Florida, Texas, Wyoming. Oh shoot, the rich are gone now. Then they start looking at you because now somebody has to pay for all the shit that you've allowed them to pass into law in the hopes or thinking that they were going to take it from someone else and trickle it down to you. It's happening in New York. It's happening in Chicago. It's been happening in California. It's happening even more. California has lost over 2,000 businesses over the duration of Biden's presidency. 2,000 businesses have fled the Democrats in California. Now, guess what? They got no one else to tax. They have no one else to hit, right? So you know who they're coming after now? They're coming after the regular old sucker who keeps voting them into office, who keeps voting for horrible taxation policies, thinking, well, they ain't going to take it from me. They're going to take it from somebody else. Now they're taking it for you. Let me show you this. Now, what has California been running on? Right? What has Democrats been running on? Affordability, right? That's what they've been saying. We're going to make things more affordable. They tricked the people in New York with that bullshit. They tricked the people in Chicago with that bullshit. They've been got the people in California with it. But look what they're doing now. They've chased all the businesses out of California, right? The insurance companies, Tesla, gone. SpaceX on the way out. It's a bunch of them. Google leaving. Gavin Newsom is sick about the Google situation. Google is going to leave California. Now look what they're doing. Do you think they say, you know what? This taxation stuff ain't working. We're losing all of our big businesses who create the jobs. This is what they're doing now. California is getting ready to increase a health insurance tax. Will it affect your premium? This was just written on June 18, 2026. So now they're going to raise taxes on healthcare companies, private healthcare companies. Think about that. They're going to raise taxes on private healthcare companies, which means what? Your Kaiser monthly payment is going up. Your Health Net going up. Your Humana going up. Your Anthem going up. Your LA Care going up. They keep telling you, we're going to make things more affordable. How is it more affordable when you're going to make my healthcare costs go up? It's just a lie. Look, legislators approved a redesigned health tax that shifts more cost onto privately insured Californians to help preserve billions in federal Medi-Cal funding. A family of 4 could pay $400 more a year in premiums, but the tax still needs federal approval from the Trump administration to take effect, which he hopefully won't do that. Legislators this week approved a health tax bill to continue critical federal funding for the state's Medicaid program, also known as Medi-Cal. Their approval comes despite warnings from health industry leaders that the tax as designed will raise premiums for privately insured Californians. So when they say Medi-Cal, do you know who they're talking about? They're going to crush working Californians and make it impossible for us to afford to pay for health care so that they could give health care to illegal immigrants. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Boom. Patty said it right here. Pat B. Illegals in California get free Medi-Cal. They are going to crush working American citizens and make us sicker so that they can give free health care to illegal immigrants. New federal rules are forcing the state to restructure its managed care organization tax, or MCO tax, which the state collects from health insurance plans that coordinate care for their members. California has been charging Medi-Cal insurance plans at a higher rate than private plans. The state's newly designed solution, Senate Bill 125, will lower the tax on Medi-Cal plans and raise the tax on private plans to the same level. If finalized by the governor and accepted by the federal government, the new plan would shift more of the cost burden onto people who buy private insurance, but bring in less revenue overall. So think. The cost burden would shift to people who buy private insurance, but make less money. What happened to tax the rich? The rich are leaving. Screw you. I can go to the doctor and pay out of pocket in Kentucky. So now the cost is falling on the middle class and the lower middle class and the working poor. It's always like that with the Democrats. We're going to make it more affordable. And all of a sudden your taxes is going up. Telling y'all, it's a mess. And this is what Kamala Harris wants to bring you back to. Yeah, because Trump's bad. Dude, listen. Listen, lady. Forget you. Trump can be as bad as he want to be. We are not going to bring you back into the White House so you could implement the horrible Californian policies on a national level. Kamala Harris's political career is over. If you're not going to vote for Gavin Newsom, why would you then turn around and vote for her? Who is like Newsom light. Stupid. She's done. That's why she has to go. That's why she has to go all the way to Austria to find somebody who will put her on stage. And even there, she made herself look like a fool. No, I wouldn't have started the warring around. Yeah, because you wouldn't have been in the White House. Nobody gonna put you in charge of nothing. 100%, Latrice. They make it more affordable for illegals. because that's their voter. Those are the people that are going to pass laws to give them the power to vote. Cali passed the Nick Shirley Act so we can't even investigate their fraud. 100%, Cam. If they're not doing fraud, why are they passing legislation to stop you from investigating fraud? That's the only question. If they're not doing fraud, why are they passing legislation to stop you from investigating fraud? I don't need to stop something that investigates something that I'm not doing. The worst. But guys, I got to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate y'all coming in, stepping up, contributing to the channel, hitting the like button, helping this channel continue to grow. We are in a growth phase right now on this channel. Be a part of the come up, man. This will always be a place for you. If you are a lover of truth and transparency, if you're someone who gets off on honesty like I do, it's like this is the place for you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. But thank you so much for watching this. Till the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.